All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled My Top 10 Athletes of All Time. It's a little bit everywhere. I'm biased, but let's start number 10. Pete Sampras. When I was a kid, my dad got me watching tennis, but I was a big Andre Agassi fan. And who would always beat Andre Agassi was Pete Sampras. The reason I picked Pete Sampras as number 10 is because he was dominant in that era, but also because he really wasn't the fan favorite. He was the first person that I saw that was just a consummate winner, that found a way to win, no matter how people did it, no matter what people thought. So, like, before I saw Tom Brady, really, Joe Montana-esque and that. But I just got to give credit to where credit is due, because I actually watching him, and I would root against him because I was an Agassi fan, and he would win. And this is why he garnered my respect as a great athlete in a sport that I really didn't even too much like at the time. But that's number one. Number 10. I didn't watch hockey, so I know Gretzky, Lemieux, I know about it, but I can't. Roy and stuff like that, I know it, but I don't. Number 9. My number 9 athlete of all time is Florence Griffith Joyner, FloJo. When I was a kid, I didn't. People don't realize how dominant she was in track. Like, people really don't. If they remember Jackie Joyner Kersey, they remember Carl Lewis, Burrell. But FloJo was like, she was running like a 10.4. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s. Like, a lot of her times, they still ain't catching her to this day. So, and I think I believe she did long jump too, but I know she did the 4x1, and I believe the 4x2, but she did the 1 and 2. She was so dominant, it was ridiculous. She made it cool when the women had their hair done and their nails done, and then Gail Devers came after that. She was a killer. Like, I wish she wouldn't have died so young, but but Florence Griffith Joyner, FloJo was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Number 8. It's got to be Shaq. Can you dig it? The reason it's Shaq, not just because I grew up in Louisiana, Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Tree Rollins, LSU, and all that, is because Shaq had learned to have a post game, and he was a great passer. And he was freaking dominant. Like, I never got a chance to see Wilt Chamberlain, but I saw what dominant was. You know what I mean? Like, he was ridiculously dominant. It was unfair when he got the ball. It was completely unfair. And for him to move like that and his footwork to be like that, his size 22 shoe, he's 7'1", 300 plus, spinning and dipping, and then he got that little baby hook going. To move with that kind of agility, and the power in the beginning, breaking the rims, people forget that. He was the hooper, hyper, protected by Viper, but that's a whole nother story. But he's my number 8. Because he was just a complete freak of nature. Number 7 was another freak of nature. Barry Sanders. I've watched a lot of NFL film of a lot of players. Night Train Lane, Lance Allworth clips and whatnot, Raymond Berry, Jim Brown, Gale Sayers. Even OJ has some dope highlights, but I've never in my life, I don't think, I've seen games be able to be duplicated. I don't think you can duplicate Barry Sanders. I just can't. The things that he did were just no. The vision, the balance, the shift, the footwork. I've never seen that. Never. And it was ridiculous to the point that people who remember him well enough to know, they made a commercial about a dude celebrating tackling him one-on-one. That's how ridiculous he was with it. He had a 5-yard average for his career, and half of the time he had spectacular runs for negative yards. But he was just unstoppable. no line, one lineman. You know, he got that ball. It was problematic. So he was my 7 all time. There's other people I could have put up in here, but I'm doing this last minute. Number 6 is actually a tie. My number 6 is Michael Johnson and Usain Bolt. Now Usain Bolt got a gang of records, but Mike Johnson, if he didn't get sick in Seoul, I believe, y'all would have really saw it. Like Mike Johnson was that dude. Like Mike Johnson actually made me want to run the 400. You know, and he had that, and his style of that just like Usain, him being so tall. You know, I was looking at people like Maurice Green. You know, the Kansas City Cannonball, because he was more my body type. Otto Bolden and whatnot. But you know, when Mike Johnson came around, there was no gold. No, you're not getting gold. Just like when Usain came around, no, you're not getting gold. Now you could get the silver, you could get the bronze, but the gold, that's not happening. You showed up for something else, but you didn't show up for gold. That's why their dominance made me like, yeah, it's unmatched. Number 5 greatest athlete of all time, Serena. I mean, once I got into watching tennis, like in the beginning, people forgot that Venus was the one winning in the beginning, and their father predicted that Serena was probably going to be the better one over time, and people thought he was crazy at the time. He wasn't crazy. Once she started winning, it didn't stop, and the win, as long as she's won, didn't stop. You know, so as an athlete, the ways she's won, the time she's bounced back from injury, I mean, you can't. Taking off time, coming back, this, that, and the third. I still mess with my auntie, but like I blame her in that new marriage and that baby. She ain't gonna break this record now. But as far as athletically, you know, she was intimidating just by her body type. You know, and she learned over the years because she would mess up a lot because she was forcing it, and then she learned to control herself, and then she just became super dominant. So she's my number 5. Number four is Roy Jones Jr. See, I remember watching Roy Jones in Seoul, Korea get robbed for the gold medal and crying with his towel on his head, getting pushed, going out the arena. And I didn't know who he was at the time, but I knew he got robbed because he beat the brakes off of that Korean cat. But then, years later, I see him in an interview against James Toney. And anybody who watch boxing, they know James Toney, lights out, is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Like, he beat the brakes off a lot of guys. But when you look at Roy Jones, and my favorite fighters, he's like him, Hagler, Floyd, Purnell, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez, Tyson, all that, you know. But Roy is a freak of nature as far as boxing is concerned. That sheer behind the back hook that he hit old boy with to drop him was ridiculous. When he almost killed old boy Hall because he just lumped up his whole body. He just pumpkin headed the dude the whole fight. I don't even know why the ref had it going, but his punch selection, his way of being able to punch, his speed. I've never seen anything like that. Still to this day, never. Like, people tried to emulate that. He was faster than Floyd, taller taller and heavier. And he's one of only 2 boxers to go from middleweight to heavyweight and win a title. Really 3, because James Toney did it too, but they didn't count his. But his athletic prowess was second to none. Second to none. Like, you can't get past that. Number 3, got to be Michael Jordan. Because just his sheer body control. I grew up in Chicago. Like, listen, his dominance is unquestioned. But his athletic ability, people forget his body control. People forget how he could twist and contort in the air. People forget the hang time was just ridiculous. You know, you keep forgetting why he on the shoe like that. You know, it's for a reason. You know, but past that, people forget. People forget how that fade away, and he would shoot that sucker behind the backboard, fading away at times. He could do it right and left-handed. You know, his athletic skill was far and above everybody that were professionals. He was on a different level than a bunch of professionals. You know, that says it all. You know, the right left in the finals. That's come on now. And people forget all the numerous highlights of just smacking his hand and shooting free throws with his eyes closed. This was ridiculous. The dude was ridiculous. Number two, which he could have been, I wish I could have put Bo Jackson, because Bo Jackson is just one of the greatest athletes, but the injuries. But number two, Prime. If anybody know, you should know the name Prime. Deion Sanders. Prime time. Professional football and baseball. Prime time played cornerback in a way that nobody else could do it. There's only a few people who have their own style of playing cornerback. Prime, Champ Bailey, I think Night Train. But it's hard to emulate what he did, because like him and Champ, whatever they did, they perfected that, and people try to do it now, but they're not athletically enough gifted to do that. The fastest player that I've Darryl Green is up there. People forget Darryl Green is up there, but Prime even topples Moss as far as an athlete. Like, the things he did made no sense. No sense. He shut down a whole third of a field and could return kicks on you and could play receiver and could go get you a base hit, and a steal in the same week. I don't want to hear it. Number one is Jerry Rice. I think he was the most dominant athlete, bar none. And the reason why I say he was the most dominant athlete, and that's why he's my greatest of all time, is because every time the bright lights was on, Jerry Rice did it. People, Jordan did it under the bright lights, but Jerry Rice is unmatched. And what I mean by that, every Monday night game, Jerry did it. Every Sunday night game, Jerry did it. Every playoff game, Jerry did it. Every Super Bowl game, Jerry did it. The biggest performances at the biggest stages with the biggest catches and the biggest moments and the biggest plays, Jerry was on it. Jerry is the prototypical receiver. We think about the one-hand catches. That really started with Jerry versus the Rams when they got a pass interference and the dude was holding him like this. He caught the ball like this with one hand and just zoomed down the sidelines. That was Jerry. The 50-50 balls, Jerry. The slant and take it to the house, Jerry. That going up in traffic between 2-3, Jerry. I think Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback of all time. I know people say Tom Brady, but I think Montana. But because Montana won without Jerry. But look at how far Jerry is ahead of his contemporaries or people chasing him. Motherfuckers ain't gonna never catch him. Never. Antonio Brown talking about, I'm going to catch Jerry. No, the hell you not. You still tripping about a helmet. He 20,000 yards deep. And his longevity, he played till he was like 40. I mean, only you could say that about like Bruce Matthews. I think Jackie Slater or something like that. They linemen. We talking about a skill position. Lineman is a skill position. Them hogs is not to be trifled with. I take that back. But I think Clay played 22. I believe so. But he was the man. And there are people I left off like Vic. I think Vic was a phenomenal athlete. AI, absolutely. Kobe, Floyd. How can I say this? Megatron and Randy. They got honorable mention. Cause them motherfuckers there. That didn't make they're unfair. Champ, Charles Woodson, I could say that. Federer, definitely Tiger Woods, yeah. But for me, it was them. So I'm done. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.